The brilliance of Mohamed Salah is clear for all to see. A player instrumental to the success of Liverpool over the past few seasons, someone who has won it all. While many view the Egyptian king as the best right winger in Premier League history, he's still underrated by certain sections of the football world. Why? Well, it's not just about what happens on the pitch. There are factors, some obvious, others hidden, that play a new role in how a player is perceived. Let's discuss these factors and analyze why one of the greatest players of our generation is still underrated. A big part of why Mohamed Salah is underrated is his remarkable consistency. Sounds odd? Well, let us explain. When players can deliver consistently high numbers, in Salah's case goals and assists season after season, our expectations of them heighten to a point where we don't appreciate the greatness we see. Take Harry Kane. We know he doesn't have the trophies that Salah does, but he is similar in the sense that a 25-goal Premier League season would usually be overlooked due to high expectation. In essence, Mohamed Salah is the same. As a victim of his own success and having set the bar so high from the outset with 44 goals in all competitions during his debut season, football fans have now begun to expect it rather than appreciate it at times. Let's put things into perspective. In terms of Premier League goal tallies, Michael Owen, the 2001 Ballon d'Or winner, never hit 20 goals in a league campaign for the Reds, or any side he played for. Salah has managed 32 goals in his first season and has eclipsed 20 in 3 additional seasons. And while we're talking, he's already very close to getting 20 less than halfway through the current campaign. Speaking of the current campaign, although still halfway, Liverpool look like the favorites to clinch another Premier League title half a decade after winning the title under Jurgen Klopp, with Salah still firing the goals in with a new manager at the helm. So his longevity cannot be underestimated. The consistent numbers that the likes of Kane and Salah hit will take a long time to replicate, and when the Egyptian king does move on to pastures new, will fans look back on his numbers in a fonder light? Are you now remembering Owen winning the Ballon d'Or? Well, let's dive into another reason why Salah is often underappreciated. In all sports, winning trophies can be easier or more difficult depending on the greatness of the competition. Mohamed Salah has enjoyed his peak years during the back end of the Messi and Ronaldo era of dominance and has not been able to pick up a Ballon d'Or. 2017-18 was Salah's best season for Liverpool in terms of goals alone. Luka Modric won a Champions League and led Croatia to a World Cup final, which was enough for him to end a decade of Messi and Ronaldo winning it. Had Liverpool won the European Cup final, it would have been hard to argue that Salah didn't deserve it, particularly when you consider Modric's goal involvements were significantly inferior to that of Liverpool's then new superstar. Salah has been twice voted PFA Player of the Year, but his individual trophy cabinet pales in comparison to some of the other great players of his generation. Rodri picked up the Ballon d'Or this season, and rightly so. While the Spanish midfielder has won a whole lot more in his club career than Salah, Salah's best seasons have been a cut above Rodri's strongest campaigns. Which does beg the question, was Mohamed Salah's talent worthy of winning football's biggest individual prize? Winning awards depends on timing, which is why the likes of Rodri, Modric, and Benzema have been able to scoop the highly prestigious Ballon d'Or, while Salah has been unfortunate not to. Michael Owen has won the award, but looking at their peaks in comparison to each other, Mohamed Salah's was far greater. It's important that we don't let a lack of individual accolades deter us from the fact that we are talking about a modern-day great. Salah isn't the captain at Liverpool, which may lead people to believe that he lacks leadership qualities which contribute to the brilliance of a player. While Jordan Henderson and Virgil van Dijk have worn the armband during Salah's Liverpool career, his experience and presence in the dressing room at Anfield prompted Jurgen Klopp to move him into the leadership group in 2023. Fans of other clubs may not be clued up on players who make up a leadership group at a certain team, but this shows Salah is capable of being a presence in a team full of big characters. Salah is someone who leads by example, sets the bar high, and inspires both the younger and older players around him because of his world-class ability. And let's not forget to mention his leadership contribution to his country. The nickname Egyptian King is certainly an appropriate one. Salah is held in high regard in Egypt and is considered by most to be head and shoulders above all the rest as the greatest players the country has ever produced. With 59 goals in 103 appearances, Salah came agonizingly close to AFCON glory with Egypt, although defeated on penalties in the final to Sadio Mane's Senegal in 2021 after losing the final against Cameroon in 2017. Salah has captained his country for over half a decade and carried them on his back for large portions of his international career. He is, without a doubt, a leader teams should follow. Steven Gerrard was one of the best, if not the best player to put on a Liverpool shirt. As Graham Souness rightly said, Gerrard would have gotten into any Liverpool side from any generation, including the golden era of the 70s and 80s. What perhaps helped players like Steven Gerrard stand out even more was that the teams around them often weren't the standard expected for a Liverpool starting 11. This was probably true for others such as Luis Suarez and Felipe Coutinho, who often carried teams on their back at times. I'm sure we can all remember the squad Jurgen Klopp inherited at the beginning of his tenure. However, Salah is widely considered the best Liverpool player of this generation, but shares the plaudits with the likes of Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and previously Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino. Jurgen Klopp always had the team function as a well-oiled machine. While Salah was the star man, he didn't shine as brightly due to the quality around him. His brilliance may often have been overlooked a little, especially as he played as part of Europe's most threatening trio at the time. But with Mane and Firmino now gone, we can appreciate Salah a bit more. Despite the constant changes around him, he continues to perform and adapt. In a time when he was perhaps considered a little selfish, he still helped it work. Is he actually the one making it all tick? Known as a direct out-and-out goal scorer, Salah is often perceived as somewhat a one-dimensional player. This perception can sometimes hurt him when talking about Premier League greats. Take Alan Shearer. He did not possess the flair of a Thierry Henry, but was more than a goal scorer. Despite being best known for putting the ball in the back of the net, the former England captain still racked up 64 assists and had the tactical awareness to link up play, and worked well in strike partnerships with the likes of Les Ferdinand, Teddy Sheringham, and Craig Bellamy. Mohamed Salah is another who possesses the ability to do both at an incredible level. His goal-scoring ability is phenomenal, but again, casual football fans don't easily notice his creative spark, his eye for a pass, and his role as a player within a system. Salah has 172 Premier League goals with 80 assists, and now is the appropriate time to talk about his exceptional all-round play. He's just broken yet another record, this time becoming the first player ever in the Premier League to reach double figures for goals and assists before Christmas. Not bad for a one-dimensional player who only knows how to score goals. While the Mane, Firmino, Salah era is now over, their brilliance as a front three also needs to be acknowledged. Their understanding and ability to work so effectively as a cohesive unit shows the high footballing IQ that each and every one of them had. Salah has not only been one of the best forwards in the history of the English top tier, but was also part of a front three rivaled only by the Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez firing line back in the Man United glory days of the late 2000s. But who do you think was the better front three? Now, Salah is someone who lets his feet do the talking. He's never appeared to be someone who particularly enjoys and cares for the media spotlight, and despite being a sensational football player, is a very humble person. This is a characteristic that should be, and is, commended by many. It also means he isn't always hugely marketable. His off-the-field persona and character aren't comparable to the likes of Jude Bellingham and Erling Haaland, who seem to be involved in one advert or another, and clearly feel comfortable taking part in interviews. Another right-sided Premier League player who was one of the first to achieve A-list celebrity status was David Beckham. Beckham was a world-class player, but in the modern era and post-retirement, is more famous for being a celebrity. In terms of footballing ability, Salah comes out on top, and it's not close. Beckham's desire for the celebrity lifestyle meant he was and is more widely known around the globe than other players who were better than him, but chose to stay away from the off-field antics that most elite footballers explore. While true football fans are fully aware of the brilliance of Salah, could he have made himself even more of a global superstar if he had kept a higher profile life and had more of an off-field persona? Finally, despite the acumen of the likes of Salah, Didier Drogba, and Samuel Eto'o, African players often don't receive the praise they deserve from certain quarters. European and South American players tend to be spoken about far more for their contributions to the sport than their African counterparts. Riyad Mahrez, like Salah, was a Premier League winger who absolutely lit up the field when he was at his best. To be part of the outstanding Leicester City title win of 2016, to then go and contribute goals and assists to help Man City win countless trophies under Pep Guardiola, it can be argued that Mahrez's name should be spoken about more. Yaya Touré is another example, one of the best Premier League midfielders of all time with a 2013-14 season which could rival any single season from a midfielder, but when the debate comes up about the best center mids, his name is often missing from the likes of Scholes, Patrick Vieira, and Gerrard. African players do seem to have a tougher task in regard to gaining world recognition, which could also be another reason as to why Salah isn't always given the credit that his talent merits. But when it's all said and done, do you believe they'll soon forget his name? Mohamed Salah's brilliance may not always get the spotlight it deserves, considering what he has done for Liverpool, the Premier League, and football, but history as a way of revealing the truth. Years from now, Salah's name will stand tall among the all-time greats, not just as a Liverpool icon, but as one of the finest players in Premier League history. But what do you think? Is Salah still underrated? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed today's deep dive, click on the next video to find out 6 reasons why Rio Ngamoha must join Liverpool's first team. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more football insights.